They call it morning sickness, but if you're pregnant, you know that can creep up at any time of the day. We're here to talk about what's normal, why it happens, and what can help. My name is Jamie. If you're new here, I'm a midwife. I've been attending births for over a decade. Morning sickness is one of the most common pregnancy symptoms, and it affects up to 80% of pregnant people. Usually it shows up between weeks 6 to 8, and it subsides around weeks 12 to 14, right as you're entering the second trimester. Occasionally, some people have it prolonged into the pregnancy, and it could be something called hyperemesis. We'll talk a little bit more about that. What causes morning sickness? First and foremost, there are fluctuating hormones in pregnancy that you have not experienced otherwise. Then on top of that, you have a heightened sense of smell. So foods that usually you could stomach just fine seem just repulsive out of nowhere. And last but not least, your body is shifting in its insulin production, which will make you hungrier more often, and often not eating will cause you to be nauseous. It's a vicious cycle. So what is normal? Nausea, sometimes that leads to vomiting. Some people have a lot of vomiting and very little nausea. And for some people, this just can look like food aversions. Foods that usually you craved otherwise or were a big part of your life just are not doing it for you right now. So there are varying degrees, some worse than others. If you are incapable of keeping fluids down or food, that is a time you want to make sure that you're talking to your provider in case you need an IV if you're showing signs of dehydration. Let them know. There are things that can help, including prescription medications and IVs to rehydrate you. Morning sickness may stick around for a few weeks, so it's good to find some tricks to help you cope with it better. The first one will be start with smaller, more frequent meals or snacks between meals to prevent your blood sugar from dropping and, again, the cycle of nausea that is caused because you're actually hungry. If you're experiencing nausea first thing in the morning before getting out of bed, keep some snacks on hand next to the bed that are easy to eat before you get out of bed. Think crackers, trail mix, beef sticks, whatever. That will help level out your blood sugar before you get up and try to start your day and can help your morning go a little bit more smoothly. Sometimes it's easy in the first trimester to stick to bland foods, things that don't have very strong taste or smells and are going to be easier to get down. Think toast, crackers, whatever. Not ideal long-term for this kind of diet, but it's just a season and the baby will be just fine. Try to focus on high-protein snacks, especially if you are mixing it with carbs, just again to balance out your blood sugar. So think Greek yogurts, nuts, cheese, fruit. Try to avoid greasy fried food or even spicy food that are more likely to trigger an upset stomach. Obviously, we want you to stay hydrated, so try smaller sips of water. If water doesn't seem that appealing, try adding some fruit to it or even electrolyte packets to help replenish that. Often cold water goes down smoother than lukewarm water. There are some teas that are good for upset stomachs as well, and that would be ginger tea or peppermint tea. One of the things to run by your provider would be a B6 Unisum combination to add to your prenatal regimen and medications. And if that is not working, your provider may be willing to write a prescription for stronger medication if it is really becoming that disruptive and problematic in your day-to-day life. Morning sickness can make those first few weeks of pregnancy seem miserable, but thankfully it only usually lasts a couple weeks and you'll be on your way to enjoying your second trimester soon. If you found this helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more pregnancy tips and tricks.